Hey everyone, it is Hexie week. We're going to start the Stitch Supply embroidery sample this week, so I wanted to kind of tell you where we're going, what we're doing, and help you get your supplies gathered for what we're doing. My lighting is horrible. Kind of feel like I have a Wisconsin tan here, so forgive me. Alright, so first of all, let's talk about what you need this week as we work on the Hexie sampler. This pattern. The pattern came two different ways, already printed on fabric or a download version that you can trace onto fabric yourself. So first you need that, very important. Please ignore my spelling error, you guys. For once I would love to have a pattern without a spelling error, but you know what, it's me. I'll have you proofread it next time, okay? So you need the pattern. The pre-printed ones on fabric come like this. Already ready to go. One thing I would suggest doing, it's completely up to you, but if you're new to embroidery, I highly recommend it, is to iron on some interfacing onto the back of it. I use SF101, my favorite interfacing. That will help make your fabric a little bit stronger and create the weaves going a couple different directions. And one of the things that will help with is that your stitches don't get too tight, or you don't pull too hard and then have uneven stitches. So I recommend it. It doesn't have to be, I don't know if you can see it, probably not. It's not all the way to the edge, and that's okay. You just want it centered around where the design is on your fabric. So number one, have this ready to go. The ink that this is printed on, this is permanent. It's not coming off. So know that when you're stitching, you gotta cover these lines, okay? You can iron over it, you can put water on it, it's permanent, it's not going anywhere. So number one, your pattern. Number two thing that you need to have is your floss. You can go off of what me, picked, the autumn harvest color direction. So this is the sheet that came with, it tells you all the Finca floss, that's what I use, and we have it Stitch Supply, or you can see the numbers that correspond for the DMC colors, if that is easily accessible to you. So you have that colorway, or you have the spring, the bright fun colors, and again, both of the colors are here, and both of the numbers. We'll go over the pattern later. Just want you to gather your supplies right now. You can also pick your own colors. Have fun with it. Go to town. I recommend having 10 to 11 different colors. You can have more. And make sure that you have like an ombre effect, because a couple of them do. Like this one right here, so you'll have, if you chose a red or a purple, make sure you have 3 shades of that. Or another one that does that a lot is the Hexie stitching down here. Again, just make sure it goes blue, but there's 3 or 4 shades of that same kind of effect. That is kind of fun, of course. Again, you could go with all creams and neutral and it'd look awesome, so it is completely your choice. Floss. Let's just talk about it for a minute. We have Finca here. Comes like this, right? Fun way to store your floss. I do this a lot. I put it on these clothespins, so then when you're ready to use it, you can just pull off the clothespins. Some people don't like twisting their floss like this. To me, I think those kinks come out right away, so it's not a big deal. But that's a fun way to keep your floss neat and organized. I gotta show you how I actually also keep them organized. This is my floss collection, you guys. We used to own an RV, and we went on an RV trip for 47 days. I needed something to do while my husband was driving because I drove for 15 minutes of those 47 days. I wound floss. Look at this, you guys. Isn't that crazy? I worry about myself sometimes too. So this is a fun container and a fun way to store them as well. You need your pattern, you need your floss, you need a hoop. You're more than welcome to use a standard size round wooden or plastic hoop that you can get at various places. My favorite is a Q-snap frame. This is the this is the 11-inch frame. This is really, you know how people always put the they take their photos with They take their photos with picture frames. I got a new picture frame. Really? Okay, sorry. How you do it? They have these edges that pop off. And when you have a brand new frame, these are a little stiff and hard, but don't worry, they loosen up. Mine's been used quite a bit. So you slide all those off. You take your pattern and you simply put it over the top. And then you lock it back down with these. You do one side, then the other. And then the top and the bottom. The reason I love these, and they do come in various sizes, this is the 11 inches, because when you stitch, you don't always want your fabric super tight. I like to bend it a little so I can manipulate my fabric from underneath. So these keep it tight or loose. So you need a frame. Of course you need a needle, some needles, embroidery needles. The difference with embroidery needles and sewing needles is that the eyes are bigger so that you can thread it easier if you have a really cute needle minder. But my favorite is Bowen brand, Bohin. The eye is a little bit bigger, and my second favorite is John James, but for the John James, the eyes is a little bit smaller. They're really strong needles that don't bend, and I personally prefer that. It's kind of trial and error, though. Take trying them out and seeing what you like best. And you need snips, simple, any little thing that can cut some embroidery floss will do. These cute little fellas. And one other thing I'm going to recommend, if it becomes a problem later, is a needle threader. This one I just found and I absolutely love it. Is this all backwards for you guys? It's so cool. It is metal. Instead, a lot of them are those fine wire points. This one is metal. So is it focusing on it? Can slide your thread. I don't have any out right now, but you slide your thread through that hole and then slide that into the eye of your needle and thread it that. And wait, sorry, I did that backwards. You do this first, then put your thread through that big hole, and then pull that out, and your thread will be on your needle. We'll go over that later, though. And I have a couple tricks for threading needles too. Sometimes it's a big problem for people. So we are going to start. Tomorrow I'm going to do my first video with you guys, and we're going to start a few stitches, and I'll give you some assignments, and then I'll give you a few more stitches, and we'll keep going for about 2 weeks. I'm going to post the schedule next so you know where things are. I want you to know that I'll do it on Facebook Live because that's the easiest way for you guys to ask me questions if you need to. But otherwise, feel free to message me at any time. If you can't, be around to watch the live video, you can always replay it later. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, so it's a schedule of events. We're going to learn a few stitches. You guys can go and practice them. Come back to me with questions. We'll go over a few different of the Hexies and tips and tricks and stuff. And I want to tell you also what I did is I recorded myself doing all these stitches a little while ago, and I uploaded them to YouTube. So there'll be a little library of stitches for you guys to go back and you can watch over and over and over again me doing the same stitch until you can get it right. So that's where we're at now. Gather up your supplies, meet me back tomorrow, and we'll get started stitching. And if you have any questions, please, please, please feel free to email me and ask those. Have a great Monday, you guys.